Oi, meus amores, tudo bem? A gente está aqui gravando esse vídeo muito especial na Ilha de Páscoa, na expedição de Kryon. E eu estou muito feliz porque a gente vai conversar um pouquinho com o Lee Carroll, que canaliza a Kryon há quase 30 anos, e perguntar algumas coisas para ele também levar a mensagem para vocês desse despertar da nova era, de todo o trabalho que ele vem fazendo pelo mundo. Thank you to receive us to do this video for all the people around the world that will see and watch. And first, I would just say that I'm very happy and very connected with all these things. It was one of my dreams to be here and like see all these things close. And firstly, I would just ask you how everything started in your life. How was to connect with Kryon's energy in your life?
I'm an engineer, and that's what I am first, and that's what I was. And I was in my mid-40s as an engineer. I was not interested in esoterics. I was a Christian. All of these things, I had a good career, no problems at all. But I was married to a woman who was esoteric, and her name was Jan Tober. She's still a very good friend of mine. And when we were married, I told her, I said, I know that you believe very strange things. And I said, don't bother me with the strange things. And she did. And what happened was she asked me to go to a channeler, a man who channeled. And I said, I really don't want to go. And she said, well, it's my birthday. So I went. You understand the dynamics of that. So what happened was I sat in front of a man, and it was a private channel. And I hated it. I didn't like anything. I didn't understand anything that was happening. I didn't feel anything. It was nonsense. He was saying things that didn't make any sense. But it was for Jan. And we had our little cassette player and the whole thing. It took about an hour. And I got up and I told her, I said, I don't want to ever do this again. Because it's meaningless. It's stupid stuff. So 3 years went by, and she said, there's another man in town. He's a young man. And he's a psychic man, would you go see him? And I said, well, okay, why not? It's only 15 minutes, 20 minutes, a reading. I don't have to sit in front of a channeler again. And that guy said something that I recognized. He was a psychic, and he looks at me and he says, there's a magnetic master named Kryon trying to get a hold of you.
Wow.
And that triggered something, and I went, I've heard that name before. So I went back and found the cassette from 3 years earlier that we did with Jan, and I listened, and about 46 minutes, the guy says, the other guy says, there's a magnetic master trying to get a hold of you named Kryon. Same phrase, identical. And I then had to sit down and say, how is this possible? It's not logical, it cannot happen. They didn't know each other. No one had ever heard of Kryon. And that got me started. So I had to have something that was not logical, I could not figure out as an engineer, to get me to look. And so I sat down in a chair and I said, okay, Kryon or whoever you are, I said, show me. And that's when I sat in the chair and I started crying. I was actually angry at the chair. But it was a cause and effect relationship. Every time I sat down, I felt this heart connection. And it frightened me at first. And it really frightened me because this was something, men don't cry unless, there's a reason. And they don't want to see anybody see them cry. So I was really aware there was something there. And then it started. It took me 4 more years to realize it was real.
Wow.
4 years. Because I'm a stubborn guy. I'm an engineer,
Yeah.
And when I realized that it was real, then it took off. And that's when I wrote the first book, in 1993, and things started moving. So I wasn't ready for it. It wasn't something that I thought I would do. I had a career. There are others I talk to that are very esoteric. They say, oh yeah, I believe in this from when I was little. Not me. Not me at all. So what this has carried into my work is I am aware of how people think. And so in my presentations, I try to use logic and science and make a case, if you want to say, for esoteric things being real.
Do you think to do engineer and all these logical things in your life were like important first to receive this message?
It's very important. I have many friends who channel. They always have channeled. I mean, they were always spiritual. Not me. So definitely, my experiences as an unbeliever, as one who made fun of everything, are very valuable because, as I say, I know what the objections are to esoteric thinking. Because I talk about very strange things to many people. Channeling.
Yeah.
Strange to many people.
And how was the process to believe in your intuition, to believe that you had to like leave the career to do this around the world?
It was a very slow process. It didn't happen overnight. It took me some years to leave my business. But that was a miracle too. We believe that we actually can set up our reality. And I mean by that the things that we can imagine can be created. No matter what the issue or the problem. From our health to situations to relationships, they're solvable and miracles happen. So I asked Kryon, Spirit, God, I said, if you really want me to do this, you find somebody to buy my business. And I laughed because I was in a business that really wasn't very profitable. It was just barely working, but I liked it. And then someone came along, a guy who said, this is what I want to do. He says, can I buy your business? And I said, okay. So that got me out of it, and I realized this is what I was supposed to do. So over time, you get signs, intuitions. If you ignore them, it takes a long time. That's what I learned. To start to understand intuition is part of you. It's picking up things around you that perhaps are potentials, and you have to learn to listen. And that's what was the biggest issue. Most people still don't listen to intuition. So when I did that, things started moving quickly.
Because everything, like, you connected with the real, like, everything is the real journey, but you connected with this journey to awake people to.
Yeah, and everything has levels of learning. Everything. As I say, nothing happens instantly. And so that was 29 years ago. So you see, I've been doing this a long time. And if you compare the channeling of 29 years ago and now, it's really different. Now it's much more relaxed, the information comes easily. Back then it did not. So I have learned how to work with the whole idea of channeling, how it feels, improve myself, relax, and let it happen. That's one of the biggest things. And not try to figure it out. That's the other thing. Is that we're always trying to linearize, figure it out. Sometimes I'll tell people, I'll say, did you know you're an old soul? And they'll say, how can you tell? And to me, it's just obvious that they've been on the planet a very long time, many lives, they have wisdom. I look at you, I know you're an old soul. Absolutely, there's no question. You wouldn't be sitting here interviewing me. And they will come back and they will say, well, give me the reasons. It's like they have a piece of paper with lines and a pencil. You know, number 1, number 2. It doesn't work that way. You can feel it, you can tell it, it's intuitive. And this is what people have to learn to understand, that there are some things that are beyond the logic of a linear pencil, you know, and rules.
And when we let it flow, we are more connected, because sometimes you want to, like, control everything.
Yeah, you do. But this is, you know, we learn this mostly in life from everything around us. They say, you better control this. I mean, what's the first thing? I remember my parents said, well, what are you going to do? And I said, what do you mean? What am I going to do? I'm a kid. And they said, well, do you like math? Do you like science? Do you like painting? I said, I don't know yet. I'm a kid. You know? But there was this push to put you in the box, to say, well, you're going to do this or that. And it just doesn't work that way. We really blossom into the things that are passionate for us. And I know you understand this.
Yeah, yeah.
You really do. And so I feel you have to be free to let it go. Really let it go. You know, it's funny that if you study science, which I did, that almost all of the inventions came with intuition.
Yeah,
And
it's
there'll
true.
be somebody who, even Tesla, he got his whole electric engine in his mind before he ever put anything on paper. And it was like in the middle of the night, it was like, ah. And this is what we're talking about. You just have to forget everything else and just let it go. You know? And that's when really marvelous things happen. Yeah.
And how all the wisdom of Lemuria started to come to you to bring to people in your channel?
I tell you, this whole idea of Lemuria, the Pleiadian connection, all of these things are honestly, for me, graduate things. They didn't exist until about 10 years ago. And that was 2/3 into my career. And so I had to be prepared to teach things which are difficult. Difficult for average people to understand and believe. And yet there's logic in it, there's science in it, and we're starting to see perhaps there was a different evolution of humans. Maybe we're here on purpose. Maybe there was a plan. Maybe we have actually been seeded by those from other places. And those things sound laughable to most people, but now the science is starting to ask the same question.
Yeah.
There are many scientists who are looking at evolution and saying, we have put this through the computers and it happened too fast. So they couldn't happen. This is now starting to be shown. Evolution, as we believe it, was impossible in the time frame that we gave it, the time that it had to do it. There's 2 or 3 scientists now looking at it. One actually now calls this intelligent design. It was so mathematically improbable that it had to be intervention.
Yeah, because we all these stories are that we study at the school are so like controlled, how we said.
Right.
And there's much more than it, and your messages are very important because people can start to think about there's more than just we receive it since we were a child.
Yes.
And also about new era, the DNA changing, like and it's also like a question how in your point of view we can awake these people or put this light inside their hearts about this.
Well, the first thing I say is, what is your religious belief? What did your parents tell you, or the church tell you, or something? And to get you to understand, maybe that doesn't even make sense. You have a beautiful, creative, loving God who has put you here and given you free choice, and then judged you on your choice, which makes no sense at all.
No.
And then you have all of the other things that then there's somehow you're going to be punished. You wouldn't do for your children what we believe God is doing to us. It doesn't make any sense. And so the first thing is to break a paradigm, and you ask, could there be another reality? Could there be another truth? And the truth, my truth, and the one that has resounded in me now, is that we weren't born dirty, we were born magnificent. And we do have freedom to discover things that are beyond anything we really have been taught. The latest experiments in consciousness are measuring consciousness and saying, wow, consciousness actually can control some physics. And this is now Princeton University, Heart Math, they're all showing this. This is what we have taught for years. And if that's so, why is it so difficult to think that maybe we can control our health? Or maybe we can stop our aging, or these kinds of things. There's things like spontaneous remission in hospitals where people are curing themselves and walking out the door, and we just go, oh, it's a miracle. You never say, well, was there a reason? Did something happen there? And it's happening more and more, and there is a reason. And it's about us controlling us, not something else. So we are in charge of us, ourselves.
And we also, I always believe that one day we are going to go back as Lemuria and be healers of ourselves. We don't need to be healed because we have all this wisdom inside of us.
I'll give you a very advanced idea. Kryon says that consciousness has levels of vibration. And right now we are like down here somewhere and starting to raise it. And then he said, your consciousness changes the physics and the chemistry of your body. And then he said there are diseases that are low energy that will not be able to attach themselves to you because you are higher vibration. So many diseases won't be cured, they'll simply not exist anymore because we start to raise above the level of the disease. This is an advanced idea. We have the idea that the diseases will always be there and that we somehow are going to be able to cure them and move ahead. What if they don't even touch us? These are the things, you have to think out of the box of the bias that we have of how things might work.
And the last question, Lee, it's all these people are feeling this vibration changing, and some of them are very are still mental, asking what is going on, why this world is getting in the chaos, but it's not the chaos, it's the changing. And what's the message for them, to connect with this new era, all these energies, to be confident that it's a changing.
I give one message: stay out of fear. We don't like change. We really don't. I mean, you just get comfortable and then something changes and you go, oh. We're really not built to get excited about changes. And so when you see really big changes in government, in medicine, and things that you say, I've never seen that before. What's happening? There's fear. Everybody says, what is going on today? And yet if you really look carefully, you'll find there's a lot of things that are changing that are really beneficial and benevolent and open the door to other things you didn't think could even happen. But still there's fear. So I tell people, I want you to see a very changing planet. And things that you didn't expect are happening. Don't fear them. Just say, aha, maybe Kryon is right. Maybe this is something that is really changing. We have things going on, and I know you know this, the Me Too movement in the States, where things that have been going on for hundreds of years are now not acceptable. And they're coming out, they say out of the closet, and they've been happening a long time, and now the light is shining on them. Kryon says there's more to be seen there. Other things are going to be revealed that have been happening a long time. We're going to start cleaning up bad energy and things that are not good. So stay out of fear. Because when you see change, most people, they don't like it. And they interpret it as something bad.
And just, I want to give you this last minute for all these people that are watching this video, because the only purpose that I know we are here is to share this message, because I feel it's very important for all the people to receive this energy, because it's easier now with the internet and technology to share. So whatever you feel to say to them.
I feel very strongly about this. I think that your children and your grandchildren's children all will see a completely different world than we have. And the key truly is the social sharing that we have that's brand new. Through technology. Technology is not a bad thing. I mean, my parents would have said, oh. It's not a bad thing if it is used correctly. One of the things Kryon said before the internet happened, he said there'll come a day when everyone can talk to everyone and there can be no secrets. And so this is true. Everyone, there's no secrets. Everyone seems to be revealing things that are supposed to be secrets, and that even includes government. And so there has to be more integrity and honesty simply because we all talk to each other. This world today is going to be so different than what your children and your children's children will see. And I'm convinced that we're going to have a much better planet when everyone knows that they're family. We are.
Yeah, we are. Thank you. Thank
very
you so
welcome.
much,
Right,
Lee.
thank you.
Thank you for everyone to watch this video, and we are going to put all the links here that you can connect and see more and listen more the Kryon's messages that are very important and help you in this journey. So, and thank you.
Thank you.